Hey guys, zipping.replays here and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about, is a Xeon X5670 still good in gaming and productivity today? Now as as TechCast City has put up a couple videos about the X58 architecture and the Xeons and stuff like that you can get for it, which are pretty dirt cheap, and he's been doing testing, all that sort of stuff. I figured I'd go ahead and make a video on that as well. Now currently in my system I have a Xeon X5670 at 4.6 gigahertz with a 1.4 volt on it, paired with 24 gigabytes of RAM on an Asus P60 motherboard. Paired with that as well, I have a GTX 980 G1 Gaming Edition and a 1 terabyte hard drive. Now all these parts are powered by a 725 watt power supply, so I have plenty of power for both the GPU and CPU, so I shouldn't have any bottlenecks whatsoever. But nevertheless, let's go and look over the X5670 as you guys are looking at some gameplay. I'll talk more about what kind of specs or what kind of performance you can get out of a X5670 or 5650. Now the 5670 is a 32 nanometer architecture with 6 cores and 12 threads at 2.93 gigahertz stock frequency with a turbo of 3.3. It has 12 megabytes of smart cache, 2 QPI links, and a TDP of 95 watts, which mine's probably bumping around 120 watt, maybe a little more. It has 3 memory channels with a max memory of 288 gigabytes with a 32 gigabyte a second max memory bandwidth. Now you can have 2 of these CPUs in a configuration if you want to. That is completely up to you. I actually do not suggest doing it. Just having one's more than enough. Maybe running 2 X5650s or 5660s would be a cheaper alternative. Now this CPU, I paid about $35 if I'm not mistaken. I should check my eBay while I'm here right now. But I believe I paid $35. I paid $35 for the CPU, and then I paid $140 shipping included for the motherboard, $130 without shipping. So roughly for $170, $160 for a motherboard and CPU with 6 cores and 12 threads is not half bad at all. Now let's go and get into the graphics card, the GTX 980 G1 Gaming from Gigabyte. This has a boost clock of 1354 and a base of 1253 in overclock mode. In gaming mode it has a boost of 1329 with a 1228 megahertz stock. This has a 28 nanometer architecture with 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 on a 256 bit bus, and on my monitor I'm running a 1080p 144 Hz Asus VG248 or something of that nature. Now this does have a ginormous cooler on the GPU, so it does keep the temps pretty low. I roughly saw anywhere from 65C to 55C in all my gaming and testing. This is with a custom fan curve as well, and it doesn't get extremely loud. The only thing that really did get loud while testing was my power supply fan. Other than that, the system was very quiet. So let's go and get into the games. First game we have is World of Tanks. Now World of Tanks is not exactly the most demanding game in the century or in the world, but it does show what kind of FPS you can be getting out of this CPU. Now as you can see, I'm playing in the Easy 8. We're on, I actually cannot remember what map this is, but nothing too extreme. I'll go ahead and let the rest of the gameplay play. Alright, so, I mean, the game, you know, had a decent FPS, an average of about 100 FPS. I didn't do an exact FPS benchmark like I normally do. I did just a roughly eye kind of look at it. So, the next game is War Thunder. Now, War Thunder as well did really, really well, actually. I was seeing an average of about 100 FPS. Even though it was stuttering a good bit. I think that was just because it couldn't really keep up with the 144 Hz refresh rate. But it easily scored over 100 FPS. I think it utilized only 4 of the cores. I don't think it utilized all 6. Next one, which everybody knows and loves, Fortnite. Now, these clips aren't a benchmark clip, more or less just me recording video and whatnot, but Fortnite easily capped out at 144 with the occasional dip down. And from the video that I'm looking at currently, which looks like actually a really old video, I was capping out at about 120. And of course, looking at the current video that I have playing right now, which was from last night, I was running about 150 plus.
Oh wait, we're in Fortnite, never mind.
So it does handle Fortnite extremely well. I mean, so far it's handled all the games. But the last one I want to show is Battlefield 4. Now, Battlefield 4 is an older title, but even though it is an older title, it still played over 60 FPS, which is more than enough for most gamers. I was playing roughly 100 FPS, if not 120 FPS. And it played it really smooth. Now, all the gameplay you watched is in 60 FPS. I didn't dip down or anything like that. And I don't think that I have any other games reported. But I scored easily over 144 FPS, which was more than enough for my monitor and for me. So let's get to a conclusion. The Xeon X5670, if you can score it for under 40 bucks, is it worth it? For 6 cores and 12 threads, I think it is absolutely worth the $35. Although, if you go around shopping and a X58 motherboard is very expensive right now. They run anywhere from 120 and all the way up to about 350 for a higher end motherboard. Now, in my arsenal, I have an Asus P6T and an EVGA classified motherboard, not the classified 3, just the classified. I'll go ahead and throw some footage up on the screen now of it. That one has an i7-940 engineering sample, overclocked to 3.4 gigahertz or 3.5 gigahertz, hence the water block. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions or comments, please comment them down below. Also, click the like button and subscribe. Click the bell notification down below to know when I upload a new video or whenever I go live on YouTube or Twitch, twitch.tv/zipping.basher. Go ahead and follow me on there. And go ahead and watch all the goody streams that I do. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.